Dun dun dun, Uncle L here, and we're gonna remake some videos. So we're gonna go a little bit faster, hopefully improve some of the videos and delete some of the old ones that we made. Yeah, I got 100 videos. I want to remake some of those because the previous video, we call this the everything jig. I guess we'll go ahead and call it the Uncle L. And what we like to do is take this off right here. So pretty much any jig, any size, and you pull the springs out of the ballpoint pen. This is having a little hard time coming off, but some guy used a fingernail clipper. Ah, there you go. So nice fresh jig, take off the collar. And what Uncle L discovered is he was chopping this into threes, and he would get poked all the time. So what we did is quit being a cheap ass, and you get to the length you want, stretch it out a little bit, then you go ahead and clip. Make sure you have safety glasses. That goes flying everywhere. And sort of straighten that tail out. Orange has been hot lately, so we'll make an orange setup. So just not too fine, just to get to that right there. So then we sort of want that tail pointing on the back end, so let's see. Sort of hard doing it in front of you guys. There we go. So we got that on like that, and the tail end's back here. Originally, I had a sharp point up here and a sharp point back there, and no bueno. Let's hit pause for a second. Alright, Uncle L needs to hit the lotto, that way he can buy that $4,000 vise so he can tie his jigs. So you just wrap it up a few times there. Hopefully that's showing up good. And I like this on the bottom. And it's probably not going to be the best quality. Oh no. Using 94. Get the highest denier thread you can. Makes your life easier. So we'll wrap that up some more. Sort of wrap it heavy on the back end. So the modification I made is this wire, which you would have two sharp ends, one poking you up here, one poking you down there, because you wanted to get the maximum. So now that's rounded down. You can't get poked on this one. And if you want to add a tail, you can... yeah, this thread's not cooperating. So you pretty much latch it on like that, whatever goes on top. Let's trim these threads. Alright, so something like that. And so what I recently, there's another guy, he has the ultimate jig or something. So if you wanted to go ahead and, where's the tails? You can add any color tail. Like I say, orange is hot right now. So this is the micro or ultra chenille. And man, this thing is the best tail I've found so far. They hit it, beat it up, pretty much keeps its same consistency. So you would just, if that's what you're doing, we'll just do it real quick so you can, and you got your tail. I usually leave it a little bit long, go back to the shank right here, and then you could trim it off if they're short striking in the field. So we'll take that off. So we'll wrap this a couple times and then tie it off. Doesn't snap. Went fishing today. I caught one, but no one was catching anything. It's been bipolar, hot, cold, hot, cold. So the gist of this jig is you use power bait, you use whatever, and so this tag end was kept poking me, and so what I did is, if I'm putting on a curly tail, you can bend this up forward. So with tying that off, and I usually put a little bit of super glue on there, but your power bait, and I've actually been exploring with other options, killed it. Outfished the other anglers about 3 to 1, 4 to 1, depending on the day. But I put my crappie niblets, or I didn't, crappie niblets I don't think has an orange. So what I did is I went to the Wallies and I dug around and I found some orange power bait, or maybe it's an Uncle Jack's or Uncle Jake's, and I put that on there to match everything orange. So I usually had an orange tail. Man, that thing was killing it. High visibility in muddy water. So anyway, if you're going to use a curly tail, you bend that forward. Eye protection's recommended. And then you come back through. This is not going to be the tightest because I see how that goes flying out everywhere. And so what that ultimately gives you is a little keeper. So if you don't like the position of it, I usually like this on the bottom, and it adds a little bit buoyancy and it slow sinks. But if I'm going in shallow water, I don't, this is a 1/16, I just get a jig hook and I just put it in there without no weight. And that's been killing it, dragging it along shore, because it usually bounces over the rocks. Get it down a little bit faster, dock fishing. I've been using this setup, and it's been killing it. So what you can do now is you got a little sharp keeper, and that thing is. So original setup, I would keep getting poked right here, and I would grab the head to pop it out of the white bass. But now you got the keeper back here, and this is all dull up here. So that saves you the headache of getting poked. But what happens now is you slide on your curly tail, and you got a little keeper. See if I got a curly tail around. I had a small tube jig, so we'll just do it on that. Feed it through real quick. There you go. So you put your power bait or whatever you want right there, and then you got your hook keeper, and that holds it on pretty good. That's not the ultimate. Maybe you'd super glue it on if you wanted that setup, but then you could take it off. The curly tails, you might have to break off a little bit on the tips just to make it fit, but that hook keeper on top's pretty sharp, and then all this stuff right here is dull to the touch. Before my setup, I'd keep getting poked. But that's the Uncle L jig, formerly known as the Everything jig. Got it off a few people make them, and I think the initial makers were, oh, I can't remember. Anyway, but their hooks weren't up to spec, and they just didn't fit. They only made one size, and this one's pretty much custom. Uncle L's out.